So you might have been watching my video, which was all about building a business in 24 hours and how I did it. And what I've been doing behind the scenes is, as I've actually been doing the jobs to do it, I've been recording like sub videos on how to do things like sort your domain name out or sort your company out. And this part of it I've recorded, which is about putting the business onto Cloudflare. What on earth is Cloudflare? Well, Cloudflare is what's called a content delivery network. This is super complicated stuff, which I'm not even going to get into. I'm going to flash another video up on screen. If you want to go and watch another one of my videos where I explain about why DNS configuration and content delivery networks are so important, go and watch that. But you just want to find out the best way of setting up your business. I think if you're registering a domain name for the first time and you've got the option to set up a brand new best practice account, I would go for Cloudflare. Great thing is there's a free option as well to get you going. As your business starts to flourish and grow, you can put it onto other options. I'm not paid to endorse Cloudflare at all. I just think it's an absolutely wonderful product. And I'm just like, why would you use DNS controls that are built into the domain name? But as I do this, hopefully you'll start to see where we're going with it a little bit. And don't forget, this is a brand new business. I've got absolutely nothing. And one of the great things is I'm going to move on to setting up a Google Workspace account. You might be using Office 365, something like that. The great thing is if we set up on Cloudflare, these systems talk to Cloudflare and they'll put all of the complicated entries in there as well, which I'm hopefully you're going to see that bit as well as I do it, because that's going to be in another video. But if you just land on the Cloudflare website, I'm not going to create an account and all of that sort of stuff. That's relatively easy to do. Once you've got an account, this is what it looks like. It's basically a blank canvas, and it's like, what do you want to do now? What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this bit down here called add a domain name, and I can do it from there. Other options I've got is I could click in domains here, for example, these sections, and I could use that blue button there. It doesn't really matter how you get to it. I'm not transferring in a domain, or I'm not buying one. I mentioned in my other video about like companies and registering domain names that Cloudflare do offer that service. Sometimes it's about shopping around for the best possible price, but I've got it registered in 123reg, so I'm just going to connect my domain name. And my domain name is called Avit for this project, avit.com. Simple as that. I just put it in, see anything there. Many, many, many moons ago, there was a website running. There could be DNS records still left on there. This is one of the more complicated things that you could do. And this is a one-off job done by a web professional. So that's one of the key things I want you to sort of take away from this, is that you don't necessarily have to know how to do everything yourself. You might look at this and go, whoa, I don't understand this. If you go and watch that video about why this is important, so I flashed up a video before, I'll put it in the description as well, about why DNS configurations are important for businesses, then what what that's leading you to is understanding. Now, if you like, hang on, this is just insane, this is really good practice for your business, let's go and do it. Here we are. We can see it's brought in some DNS entries. I don't know what they are. I think probably I'll just continue with the activation and delete them. If it's a brand new domain name, there's probably nothing in there as well. Here we go. I get the first step, and I need to replace my name servers that are in the registrar. So the place where I bought my domain name. So you've got this stuff here. So I'm going to copy the first one, and I'm going to pop over to 123reg, and there's the domain name. What I do is I click on that domain name in here, and it brings up the domain settings. There's this tab here for DNS. This is pretty much the same language that you're going to get into any other registrar, basically, and it's also why you might consider taking about a web professional. First job you've got is the name servers. Now, interestingly, these DNS name servers are not the 123reg ones, because again, many, many years ago, we were running something off the back of this. So I'm going to just use my own name servers. I'm going to pop in the ones that Cloudflare. So I pop that one in. I go and find the other one, and I pop that one in, and then I press save, and in theory, it'll give you sort of warnings and saying, do you know what you're doing here? It could potentially lead to your website disappearing. If you've already got an existing website, go and talk to a professional about it. Don't be changing stuff. There is nothing here for me to damage. So there's no issues. Now, one of the things with changing the name servers is they take time. And the reason why I've done this right up front, I'm trying to get rid of that bar, and it brings up there we go. One of the things about checking changing the name servers is it's going to take many hours to do what's called propagation. This is complicated stuff. You don't need to worry about it, but it's one of the first things that I've done is I haven't registered this domain name. I already had it. But if I was to register it, I reckon as long as I had the 123 reg account, it's only going to take me probably 4 or 5 minutes to get to this stage. And then setting up the Cloudflare account, it's not terribly difficult, but it does take hours, and it's why I've done it early on. So you can see that it's brought the name servers in, but even though they're showing there now, it's still going to take some time. I go back to Cloudflare, and I say, I've updated my name servers, and it's basically going to say, well, I'm guessing it's going to say, yeah, we're waiting for the registrar to propagate, and there's that word, your new name servers. And I've just got to wait. Now, I've got a plethora of other activities to be getting on with my starting a business in 24 hours, like doing the design and the logo, for example, or thinking about how I've got to design some products and all of that sort of stuff. So this is great that I've done this right up front. I can't do anything with setting up my Google Workspace account as well until the name servers are propagated. So I've kind of done this in the afternoon of the first video that I've recorded. So I've been out running and all sorts of stuff. So I haven't made a very good start to anything, but I wanted to get this out the way because it's the one thing that I just have to wait for. I can't hurry it up. I can't do anything like that. And even, it's saying it typically takes 1 to 2 hours, but may take up to 24 hours. The reality is that what's called for full propagation, it's probably going to take longer, but as long as you're not launching your business in the next 24 hours, don't worry about it. And now all I need to do is come back here at some point and press the check name servers button like that. And it basically will say, oh, if you've got to do it. Anyway, well, maybe we'll have a bit of a revisit in this bit when I maybe do the Google Workspace setup, and then you can see how the things are going to come up there. I'll pop that video about Google Workspace up as well on the screen so you can have a watch and see how you would move it. So you could be just in at avit.com or whatever the name of your business is and get it looking super professional. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.